Hey there, everybody. Good Thursday morning. Thanks for tuning in to Gulf Coast Weather Solutions this morning. Not much going on in our Tamco Live Doppler radar. You can find some showers over there towards the Brazos Valley region, but pretty quiet here in southeast Texas and even southwest Louisiana. Not much going on. You can see a little bit of radar noise going on towards that Houston radar, but not much here this morning. But once again, it is very active. This is 3 to 4 days in a row out here in parts of the Texas Hill Country. We've got dangerous flooding once again from Del Rio to Uvalde, but right now we've got breaking news. Kerrville once again has a flash flood emergency. We have seen the Guadalupe River, just jumped up to 16 feet. Less than 15 minutes. So we're talking a foot a minute pretty much is what we've just seen. This is occurring right now. The worst of it has been really the last hour, but we expect that will continue to get worse on the Guadalupe River. We'll talk more on that here in just a second. You can see on the satellite radar, very quiet here in southeast Texas, southwest Louisiana, but very active in the Texas Hill Country out towards the west. You can just see lots of convection ongoing out there. Look at all that bubbling. You can even see some tornado warnings, but several flood warnings going on, and then you've got a couple flash flood emergencies ongoing, which means that catastrophic flooding is ongoing this morning, but very quiet here in our neck of the woods. Only rain that we're seeing somewhat in kind of southeast Texas is just west of Houston and Galveston this morning. Rainfall totals that we've seen in the last 24 hours has not been that heavy, and we've seen some areas get up to really an inch. But what's going on out here towards the west, this is the last 12 to 24 hours. You can see several areas, 5 to 7 inches of rain. And 5 to 7 inches of rain in the hill country, I mean, that is very dangerous. In the last 12 to 24 hours, you see some areas up to 12 to 13 inches of rain, and this is the reason that you see this flash flood emergency. To kind of give some information on the current state of the Guadalupe River, it went 16 feet. It rose 16 feet in the last 15 to 20 minutes. That's extremely high, very fast. It is currently at 27 feet right now, forecasted to get to 35 feet. So this is going to continue rising. In fact, last year, if you think about what happened to Camp Mystic and everybody in those, parks and those areas, over 100 lives lost. That flood last year on the Guadalupe River got up to 34 feet. So this is forecasted to get to 35. Possibly will be just slightly higher than last year. So very dangerous event ongoing out there in the west. Our thoughts and prayers out there, what's going on. Current temperatures, you can find some low 70s far towards the north. The rest of us into the middle to upper 70s, down towards the coast, already into the low, sneaking into the middle 80s, thanks to our sponsor of Silsby Ford. You look at what's going on in the construction outdoor forecast for today, it's not too bad. Much different story what it has been the last 3 to 4 days. We've been widespread, numerous showers and thunderstorms. We have now transitioned into a more so of an isolated pattern today and again tomorrow. Main thing is we're getting hot, and that's going to stick around this weekend into next week. You actually could see some of the haziness once the rain kind of died down yesterday. That's because the Saharan dust is now actually in our region. So anybody with asthma, upper respiratory, please be advised that this Saharan dust is going to be here now through the weekend and into somewhat early next week. So high amounts of that Saharan dust. And it has kept the tropics pretty much quiet, and we continue to see that. Now, this frontal boundary that's been kind of draped along Texas and the deep south will be sneaking into the eastern Gulf really kind of today and tomorrow, and all this is going to do is help develop an area of broad low pressure, which the National Hurricane Center put a 10 to 20% chance this will try to develop into something tropical. But the biggest thing that we're going to see is this will bring locally heavy rainfall and more rain to areas like Alabama, but especially towards Florida, from Tampa all the way to Jacksonville, into sections of Georgia and even the Carolinas as well too. This weekend, primarily Sunday through about Tuesday to Wednesday of next week is what we'll be looking at. Futurecast, we've been talking about that high pressure. High pressure is now going to start building into our region today, primarily really as we get into Friday into this weekend. So hot and dry conditions this weekend as that area of high pressure builds in. Look over there towards west and the hill country region. They still got rounds of showers and thunderstorms, but look towards us. There's the area of high pressure. Look over there towards Tampa and Florida. There's that broad area of low pressure. National Hurricane Center, again, 10 to 20% chance this tries to develop. Main story is this brings rain to the eastern Gulf, sections of Alabama, especially for Florida, Georgia, and the Carolinas this weekend, getting into really next week. And you can see that rounds of heavy rainfall rainfall for those regions. We're going to be hot. We're going to be dry this weekend and really for a good portion of next week. Thanks for a sponsor of Switch Electric. We've been having lots of moisture. You can see that Del Rio and the Hill Country, they'll continue to keep happening really the next couple of hours. But you see that we're dry this weekend, especially a good chunk of next week. But look off towards the west. There's that deep tropical moisture, and it pretty much is a big different story. Dry towards the west here for us, very active over there towards the east for Florida in those regions. Isolated rain chances today and again tomorrow. Maybe a little bit better coverage on Friday afternoon. We've got a little bit of moisture still. Thanks to our sponsor of Switch Electric, kind of showing us that we have now transitioned definitely into our kind of normal summer pattern now. We are getting into the isolated chance for rain today. And you see that on the Futurecast. I'll move out of the way there. Just see a couple isolated showers are possible this morning. It's not until the lunchtime hours. You get the moisture, you get the heat of the day. Here we are. We can get to at least 10 to 20% coverage. We're not going to lock in that it's right over the Woodlands or the Cleveland region. Maybe that gets closer to Houston or Liberty or Lumberton. So we're just showing that the general Southeast Texas region, at least 20% coverage for Beaumont and Jasper, 30% coverage towards the Houston region, and at least 20% coverage for Lake Charles. Rainfall totals, nothing heavy, but out towards the west, we are still expecting more heavy rain today and again tomorrow. You can see that, it's possible that you could get close to double digits again today. So more heavy rainfall ongoing out towards the west. Anybody in these regions, please be advised that it's just very dangerous out in the Texas Hill Country right now. High temperatures today are going to get into the low 90s. Some areas might get into the mid 90s down towards the coast, pretty much into the upper 80s. Thanks to our sponsor of Silsby Ford. Go check out their Facebook page. They have a really good lineup right now. And again, 20 to 30% coverage for the Houston general region, 20% coverage for Beaumont and Jasper, down towards Port Arthur, and 10% coverage for Southwest Louisiana. And then overnight tonight, very quiet, but very muggy, sticky, and humid. But that's what we feel this time of year in July. Low to mid 70s north of the I-10 corridor. I-10 down towards the coast, anywhere from the mid 70s to upper 70s into the low to mid 80s, like down towards the coast. And then our 5 to 7 day forecast for Southeast Texas. We have seen the end of the light pretty much, I guess, or the lights at the end of the tunnel. We made it. We are now into a isolated rain chances today and tomorrow. Main story is going to be the heat builds, especially this weekend into next week. Middle to upper 90s is expected. Heat index really the biggest story as we get into the weekend into next week. Same thing for Southwest Louisiana. Only relief from the heat is these isolated showers and maybe an isolated storm or two. But as we get into Saturday, high pressure builds in. Only chance for rain is going to be far off towards the east in areas like Georgia, Florida, and the Carolinas into the weekend into next week, because we're going to be pretty dry coming up this weekend into next week. Even though there's no rain expected this weekend, we are still expecting at least a couple isolated showers or storms. So it's a good time to go download the free Gulf Coast Weather Solutions app. And again, if you've got anybody going out towards the west, maybe they're helping with the flooding, or maybe some people are out there in this general region, this app will follow you and track you and let you know what's going on. Say you go in these areas and you got new flood warnings and you're out there, you will get all of these 24/7. So you just have it tap your location. It will follow along with you, and you get all the watches and the warnings and when storms are moving in and out of your region. So again, y'all have a good Thursday. Thanks again for tuning in to the Thursday morning show. We'll have more updates throughout the day today, and we'll have more updates on Facebook, YouTube, and on our app. Have a wonderful Thursday. Thanks again for joining us.
Gulf Coast Weather Solutions is sponsored by
We don't know what the weather is going to be like around here. I do get really anxious during storms.
That's why they chose HailGuard. When performance leads, confidence follows. Backed by the first and only asphalt shingle system with a hail warranty.
That just gives us more peace of mind.
This is the only asphalt product on the market that has the manufacturer warranty targeting the hail damage, and it gives me a lot of confidence as a contractor.
Engineered for enhanced impact performance. Built to protect homes and reputations. HailGuard shingles. Built for hail.